Thanks for joining in on the channel for yet another episode talking about the GYT Cloud. Today's topic is pretty simple. I had a lot of people come up to me with questions about, if the GYT Cloud is something for them. And so I just wanted to address this topic. This video is going to be just me flipping through websites and just kind of speaking my mind. So you really don't need to follow along in terms of video. You can just follow along via audio if you want. And as always, feel free to leave your comments down below with what you think, and I will address them. So plain and simple, I think the best laser for you is the biggest, most powerful laser you can fit in your space. And that's pretty much all I have to say. For me, it was the GYT Cloud because I can only fit a desktop class laser in my space. If I had a space, I would fit this 80 watt OM Tech machine with a chiller because what does a bigger machine have to offer? A bigger machine has to offer more working space. You get a 20 by 28 workspace. That's almost double what you get with the OM Tech or with the GYT Cloud. And you get an 80 watt laser. And an 80 watt laser means that you can cut things faster, you can cut thicker things, you can cut, you can engrave. I don't know if you can engrave faster, maybe you can. I'm not an engraver, so I don't know anything about engraving, but you can cut things faster and you can cut thicker things too, with everything with less power. So that in turn saves you a lot of time. But for me, in my workshop, even if I cleaned up my workshop, there's no way on this earth I can fit that 80 watt laser. And so therefore I needed something that is more desktop class, which, the cheapest out there is the GYT Cloud. And I mean, there are other variables in terms of why you would get a Glowforge versus a GYT Cloud or whatever. Glowforge is honestly out of the box, really simple to use with their cloud software. I heard somebody mention to me that people don't even, if you don't even know how to work a TV remote, you could probably work a Glowforge without issues. I don't know if that's true. I don't have a Glowforge, but they do market it to be simple to use. And so therefore, if that's your type of laser and you don't want to tinker with anything, then go for that. The GYT Cloud, you have, I would say, a 50-50 chance that something might go wrong and you have to go through tech support. And tech support is where? In China. So therefore, they're going to give you instructions how to do this and that, and you yourself have to go out and tinker and make those instructions happen to fix your laser. So that might be a drawback. Maybe it's not. Maybe you like to tinker. Maybe you have no fear of that. This goes the same with OM Tech Polar, but the OM Tech Polar has stateside support. So I would say that's a major difference if you want, not to be misunderstood or like have things lost in translation. And trust me, I've been there with GYT Cloud tech support, and they sometimes run you around in circles. And in all honesty, they are, I would say, a little bit stingy in terms of parts. Even if I wanted to pay for a part to have on hand, they're not going to give it to you. I don't know. Maybe that's the case with all the entire industry, other than GYT. Maybe not, but I don't know. That's just my experience there. So again, biggest laser, most powerful laser you can that would fit your space. And I would say price would be a secondary concern. Because honestly, if you're buying a laser, I would assume you're trying to make money back on that laser. So again, there are a lot of options to choose from. Obviously, Glowforge, you're paying $4,000 for the most basic one. And honestly, the only thing you're getting above a GYT is the cloud, really good cloud software, and maybe a more white glove service. So if something goes wrong, we might just swap your machine out versus having you tinker with it first. There's also other things like these are less attractive nowadays because of their cost. I don't even know if these companies will last. So Muse has their 40 watt laser here, same thing as the GYT, give or take. They also have their Titan, which I really love in this. So it's a huge laser within a desktop form factor. Not something that sits on the ground, but instead that's something that sits on a table, which is, I think, pretty amazing. But their price is just ridiculous. So if I want a similar 90 watt, that's $6,000 compared to OMTech's 80 watt, 10 watts less. I get everything for 4,100. But yeah, it's the biggest desktop class laser there is with I forget what size of working. Oh yeah, 24 by 48. That's pretty big. That's actually bigger than this 80 watt is. So that might be in your budget. Now there's the X-Tool laser box. I don't think X-Tool has been really focusing on their CO2 products, but I did hear that they are coming out with a new one soon. But their laser box was an option back in the day. Their laser box startup, which they discontinued, it was an all-black machine. That one ran for $1,099, so $2K you could get a 40 watt laser, which honestly I was considering before I found the GYT, as that would place it in the cheapest 40 watt laser out there. Obviously not as cheap as the K40 is, but something that works right out of the box, plug and play. And then there's another company called Flux. I think these guys aren't going to last either. I don't know. Just these things, the GYT can do with more power too, and at a lesser cost. So, again, just to summarize, I think the best laser you can get is the biggest one and the most powerful one that you can fit in your space. For me, it was the GYT Cloud. There's a lot of pros with the GYT Cloud. There's a lot of cons. Pros, you got space. You got everything contained within one unit. You got a community that is growing, that speaks English, that's stateside and European, so they can all kind of understand your issues. You have a really cheap laser that is actually coming down in price. I paid free shipping for mine, but mine was $3,100 back last year. So nowadays it's about $100 cheaper. I don't know if you're still getting free shipping depending on what packages you get, but now it's $300 for me. Some of the cons, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to think about that. One definite con is definitely the overseas tech support. They sometimes run you around in circles, and I would prefer a no questions asked policy where, if you've already proved to them that something doesn't work and you show them all the pictures, you show them all your videos, that they would just be like, okay, let us send you a new machine and send us the old one back. Some kind of service like that. I think GYT still has to grow up in that sense in terms of business, to match how we are just used to doing business in the USA. If something breaks, customer service is first, and that they would do what they can to replace your unit without first thinking that you're a liar and that you have to go out and prove the world to them before they actually service your machine. So that, I would say, is the biggest con of the GYT Cloud, but that is hopefully to be improved in the future, as hopefully they understand their clientele and the business that they're trying to get into, because they're trying to attack Glowforge's, what I think they're trying to attack Glowforge's market share. And if you're going to do that, you're going to need way better tech, way better support than what they're offering right now, and not only to just provide a cheap machine. So again, OMTech, they came out with the Polar, which is also made by GYT. So that's an option too, if you want stateside support. If I had to do this all over again, I would probably go with the Polar. But then again, I would probably just build my own. I would probably just, now that I'm very familiar with lasers, I would probably pick up a cheapo K40, gut the internals, and make it a 12 by 24 workspace laser. And that would probably net me around $1,500. So if I had to do this all over again, that's what I would do. So to each their own. And I also have to mention that X-Tool here. I don't know if I can find it, but they are coming out with their 40 watt laser. I don't know if they have it online somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. X-Pro D1. They don't actually list it here, do they? Yeah, they don't. But there is a 40-watt laser head coming out, which is ridiculous. I would say we were going to see a 60-watt machine diode laser by the end of the year, is what I'm guessing. But who knows? Oh, right here, 40-watt laser module, ridiculous for $1,000. Pretty pricey, but I wonder what this thing can do. Of course, there are drawbacks. You know, you're putting in how many diodes in there, how many modules in there. What if one of them breaks? Then I don't know. But the diode space is something to watch in the future. Obviously, you're limited. You can't cut transparent acrylics, for example. But this could be a good machine once they get that wattage up. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Post your comments and questions down below, and I will get them answered. Let's start a lively discussion about, you know, what laser is the best out there. Obviously, again, it's going to vary from person to person, and nobody can argue against that, I guess. I'm just telling you guys what I think my opinions are based on, you know, my ownership. And I've worked with, you know, in my workplace, I have worked with our workplace's 120 watt Epilogue Legend 36 EXT lasers, and those things are a dream to use. Those things are crazy, but you know, for a $30,000 machine, they better be. So, you know, that's a big, well, really powerful laser, but you know, like I said, secondary is cost, and that cost is just kind of prohibitive. And also, I forgot to mention, you know, there's other companies like Aeon Laser. Aeon Laser has some pretty unique offerings too. I don't know, I think their lasers look really nice. I've never played with one, but that's another desktop option too, as well as a bunch of other companies out there. But they are priced a lot more than the GYT Cloud. GYT Cloud has the money aspect going for them. But again, leave your comments below. I don't want to keep rambling. Thank you for joining in on this video. Until next time.